Welcome to Ghoul Talk, open late. Just a heads up, we'll be talking about death, obituaries, and real people. We mean no disrespect to the deceased, their families, or their communities. Whenever necessary, names or details may be changed or omitted. Our goal is to share stories, find the humor in the strange and the spooky, and keep things lighthearted, never cruel.
Testing.
Test.
How do we sound? Do we sound good? And we're rolling. Welcome back to Ghoul Talk, Open Late, the podcast where the lights are dim, the snacks are questionable, and we remain wildly unqualified to be your spirit guides. If you're new here, we are Sarah and April. We don't rehearse, and we keep our stories a secret right up until recording. The chaos is real.
Before we get in too deep, we need to discuss our emotional support snacks for the episode. Our last line of defense before the tarot cards bring us down a notch.
Sarah, I heard your stomach growling earlier, so I think you might be hungry for some snacks.
I'm always hungry.
Okay, first thing I have is from Swiss Chalet. When you get the holiday meals, they give you free chocolate.
Now they've got their name on it.
This is different, right? It used to be like a little house.
Yeah.
And there's, I don't know how many chocolates are in here. The one I don't like is the dark chocolate one.
You don't like dark chocolate?
I like dark chocolate, but I don't like this dark chocolate. Oh. So this is Lindor.
Okay, I'll snack that.
So there's
one up.
that, and it's in a cute little box. And I know it's like past the holidays now, but I have residual candy and whatnot in this cute little tree dish thing with. You like these? I know you like these because we've already talked about this. So these are what? How do we describe these? Like these are just like little hard candies
that you find in your grandma's little candy dish.
And this looks like your grandma's candy dish, which we'll take a picture of this for everybody. Actually, on TikTok, I've been like flooded with these videos lately of people making these. They take the candy and they have it like on a slab, and then they stretch it out into like a long like cord, and then they put it in this thing, and it just goes cut, and it just cuts into these weird little shapes, and that's it. Huh. That's why they just look like that, because they're just like put in a machine and then boom, cut. Let's do some. What does that sound like? Your grandmother's candy dish or what? Is it good? What kind did you get?
It's red.
Red. Does it taste like cinnamon?
No.
Okay, then.
Now, I'm just in my head thinking, now I have to say stuff. I've got
you have a candy in your mouth. We're going to have to pause for Sarah to finish. AKA spit it out. Spits it out, puts it on the table.
Oh, goodness. That was good.
Oh, in case you were wondering, this is what the Lindor chocolates sound like. You know, the ones that are round in a wrapper. Moving on. Okay, we put it off as long as we could. It's hashtag tarot time. A 5 of Cups. AKA, congrats. You focused on one thing that went wrong and ignored the other 2 things that didn't burst into flames. Classic. Tarot said, stop whining and pull yourself together.
I feel personally attacked. I thought this was our safe space, April. Speaking of safe, let's talk about some people who definitely don't know what that word means in our Final Destination Amateur Hour segment.
Heard that. All right, Sarah, you're up first. What do you got for us?
All right, cool friends. Today's Final Destination Amateur Hour is brought to you by alcohol, poor impulse control, and one man's personal feud with the laws of physics. So, Czech Republic, 1996. 2 men, we'll go with Jan and Oldrich. I don't know.
Did you make those names up?
Yes.
Nice. I like it.
Get into a sloppy, pointless argument. Not a friendship-ending argument, not a write this in your diary argument, just the kind of tipsy disagreement that should have ended with a grumble, a shrug, and someone passing out on a floral couch. But instead of cooling off, they decide they need weapons. Because obviously, that's the next logical step. Jan grabs a kitchen knife. Not great. Not wise. But still just dumb guy behavior. Oldrich, however. Oldrich looks at the knife and goes, cute. Anyway. And he grabs a chainsaw.
Talk about bringing a knife to a chainsaw fight.
That's good.
Thank you.
A gas-powered, screaming, heavy metal murder stick. Because apparently the man does not fear death or consequences, or maybe he just didn't think past step 1. He revs it up like he's cosplaying Leatherface in a parking lot.
Ugh.
Fumes, drama. He starts advancing on Jan with the full I am the moment energy. And Jan's just standing there, holding a kitchen knife like he's about to slice a tomato. Watching this unfold. Sir, what exactly is your plan? And then the universe steps in.
Oh no, as she does. She'll do that.
Oldridge takes one dramatic step too far. The chainsaw kicks back hard, because that's what chainsaws do when you have more alcohol than balance. And in one swift, tragic, unbelievably avoidable move, Oldridge nearly decapitates himself.
Himself.
With his own chainsaw. Drops instantly, no duel, no heroic clash of no dramatic knife fight. And here's my favorite part. Jan never even got the chance to poke him. Not a jab, not a slice, not one single
one.
touch tag, you're it. The chainsaw guy did it all himself.
Wow.
Police confirmed the fatal injury was 100% self-inflicted, which is Darwin Award's code for this man eliminated himself from the situation before anyone even participated.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Dumb.
That's just dumb.
Like, imagine losing a fight to yourself with a chainsaw while the universe leans in and whispers, "Oh, honey, no."
Bless your heart.
So the moral of the story, if you ever reach for a chainsaw in anger, congratulations, you've already lost.
Oh my god, have I even touched a chainsaw ever? That just seems bad all around.
Yeah, my noodle arms can't.
Noodle arms. Can't with my noodle arms. That is just stupid.
Stupid.
Way to go. What a way to go.
Yeah, ouch.
Oh, okay.
So what do you got? What do you have for me?
Well, I'm still just trying to get over what you just said to me, but anyways. Well, I'll tell you a story. This happened in Toronto, Canada, which is not too far from us, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It was back in the day, the good old days of 1993, but it wasn't a great day for this guy. I'll tell you why. This is taught in law schools as an example of tragic overconfidence. And that can be a thing. It's great to be confident, but there is such a thing as overconfidence. This is the story of Gary Hoy, a respected 38-year-old corporate lawyer who was known for being smart, successful, and having an interesting party trick.
Party trick?
Mm-hmm. He liked to throw himself against the windows of the Toronto Dominion Bank Tower where his office was to show interns how strong the glass was.
Oh, smart. That's
just throws
brilliant.
his body, because it's those windows that are floor to ceiling. So the wall is a window, basically. So, fun fact, that lobby was actually used in the movie American Psycho.
Oh, I love that movie.
So the lobby that they were like running through, that's that building. And the building also appears in shots of one of my favorite shows of all time, which also took place in New York, but was filmed in Toronto, which a lot are because their skylines and buildings kind of look the same. It was Suits. So you'll see this building kind of in backdrops of Suits.
With Meghan Markle?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, right? Now, to be fair, the glass was strong. But during a law firm party, Hoy decided to demonstrate the unbreakable windows once again. So there's a room full of people, and Hoy decides it's a party, so it's time for his party trick. Witnesses said he took a running start, slammed his full body into the glass. The window did not break, but the entire window popped out of its frame, fell 24 stories, taking Hoy along with it. He was dead instantly.
Oh, God.
As you'd assume. The glass was technically unbreakable. It did not shatter. But Hoy didn't understand that even strong glass can be forced out of its frame if weight hits it at the right angle. Building engineers later confirmed the glass didn't fail, the frame failed. Hot take. It became one of the most ironic true death stories ever because he literally proved half of his point. The glass didn't break, but the lawyer still went through the window.
Oh my God.
I've thought about this as a possibility when I'm, say, in the CN Tower, which is also in Toronto. Mm-hmm. If you don't know, you can walk on a glass floor, which is approximately 1,136 feet or 346 meters up in the air.
Yeah, I cannot. I've wanted to, but it's
I think I've done it probably 3 times in my life, and I'm glad I didn't know about this story before I went because I was just there last summer, and there were little kids jumping on the glass floor. Like, I walked on it because, like, I went up there and paid whatever I paid to go walk on the floor. But I was clutching my pearls because these kids were hopping on this glass floor. And I think about it, this guy, was he jumping and flying at the same window each time, thus possibly weakening the window? And maybe that's why it eventually busted out of the frame and just broke?
Right.
I wonder that, maybe he's like, this is the one, this is the trick window, it's my office, this is the one I jumped through. And like, this was a room full of people who watched this happen. So
yeah,
pretty
traumatizing.
And imagine being like on the ground too, like all around terrifying.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me of the newest Final Destination movie because it takes place in a tower just like that. Devin Sawa.
Oh, he's back.
Wah, 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 wah. Anyways, so yeah, that's my story. And yeah, I was telling my husband about it and he's like, oh, I've heard of that. It's like, yeah. Oh, I guess you would have.
Well, close to home.
We live in Canada, so when something happens, you kind of hear about it. I didn't, though. I don't know where I was, or maybe I did. I just have a horrible memory, and I might have forgot. But anyways, there's that.
So now that we've covered some people who permanently deleted themselves from the group chat of life, let's talk about the ones that absolutely refuse to log off.
This episode is brought to you by Spreaker, the platform responsible for a rapidly spreading condition known as podcast brain. Symptoms include buying microphones you don't need, explaining RSS feeds to confused relatives, and saying things like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm editing audio." If this sounds familiar, you're probably already a podcaster. The good news is Spreaker makes the whole process simple. You record your show, upload it once, and Spreaker distributes it everywhere people listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and about a dozen apps your cousin swears are the next big thing. Even better, Spreaker helps you monetize your show with ads, meaning your podcast might someday pay for, well, more microphones. Start your show today at Spreaker.com. Spreaker, because if you're going to talk to yourself for an hour, you might as well publish it.
It's time to open the Phantom Files.
All right, I like that transition. That was good. Okay, so for my Phantom Files, I want to welcome you to a place that you may have heard of, may have not heard of. Welcome to a place where history and supernatural meet. You get to decide what's real. Today we step inside one of America's strangest creations, a house built without blueprints, without rest, and maybe without peace. This is the story of the Winchester Mystery House. Have you heard of it?
Never heard of this.
Really?
I'm excited.
Okay, cool. Our story begins in 1886 when Sarah Winchester, she has your name, the recently widowed heiress to the Winchester Repeating Arms fortune, bought an 8-room farmhouse in San Jose, California. Over decades, it was expanded continuously, eventually becoming a 24,000 square foot mansion with around 160 rooms.
Whoa.
But she didn't buy it to live in it. She bought it to change it. Neighbors watched as hammers rang through the night, sawing and drilling echoing through the valley. Crews worked in shifts around the clock, not weekly, not monthly, but for 38 years straight. No holidays, no breaks, no plans, no architect.
What?
Just continuous building, room after room, staircase after staircase, hallway into hallway.
The stamina.
What was she trying to build? Or maybe the better question is, what was she trying to escape? Visitors describe the mansion like a dream you're not sure when you can wake up from. There are 160 rooms, but only about 110 are even safe enough for tours. Doors open into solid walls, a staircase climbs 7 steps and then drops straight into the ceiling, another descends into a dead end, some hallways loop into themselves with no exit, skylights built into the floor, windows that look into other rooms, trapdoors, secret passages, and to top it all off, a maze so winding that even staff sometimes lose their way. To this day, people get dizzy inside, as if the house bends around you.
Oh, I hate that.
It kind of makes me, I picture an M.C. Escher painting. Do you know
Yes!
that? Yes, right?
Yes.
So if you know what M.C. Escher is or not, just Google
All the
it.
stairs
You'll
and-
see for 5 seconds. Yeah, the staircases. This is what this makes me think of every time. Sarah claimed the design choices had purpose, and yet she never wrote that purpose down. Not once.
Me thinks Sarah was crazy.
This is where folklore begins to outbuild the lumber. According to legend, Sarah believed she was being haunted by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. Thousands of souls, angry, restless, following her. Some say a medium told her, "You must build a house for the spirits, and as long as you continue building, they cannot harm you."
What a nut.
And so she built. Night after night, decade after decade, the house growing like a living organism. Whether she believed this or the legend was created later by curious minds, no one knows for sure. But the idea caught hold, and it stayed, because people saw things in that house. Visitors report footsteps when no one's there, cold spots that move like breath on the back of your neck.
Oh,
that just
chills.
gave me chills. Oh my God. Shadows gliding across rooms with no source of light. And the strange feeling that the house is aware of you. Several tour guides swear they've seen a man in overalls, a former construction worker they believe, still roaming the halls, inspecting the walls he helped build. Others hear hammers tapping when the house is empty, as if the work never truly stopped. Perhaps it didn't. In 1922, Sarah Winchester died peacefully in her sleep. And the moment her heart stopped beating, so did the construction. Workers dropped their tools where they stood and walked away. Rooms were left unfinished, staircases ended midair, nails half-driven still sit in wood that's over a century old. Today, the Winchester Mystery House stands as a bizarre monument, part mansion, part maze, part myth. And people still ask, was Sarah Winchester a brilliant, eccentric woman using her wealth to build something unique? Or was she a haunted soul constructing a labyrinth to confuse the dead?
No, she was nuts.
The answers, like the house itself, lead nowhere you'd expect. Thank you for wandering these winding halls with me. Some houses were never meant to be understood. Until next time, don't follow any stairs you don't recognize. Today, since 1923, the mansion has been open to the public.
Can we go?
Absolutely on the bucket list. Mm-hmm. Visitors can take guided tours covering about 110 of the 160 rooms, seeing the weird hallways, staircases, and doors to nowhere. There's a beautiful picture of the house on the Architectural Digest website, and below it is stated that the house slowly grew into one of Time magazine's top most haunted places in the world, and one of HGTV's 12 scariest homes in America. Ooh. With an abundance of bizarre architectural details, like staircases that lead nowhere and a seance room, plus plenty of ghost stories to go around. This house remains a popular attraction, blending real history, architectural oddity, legend and folklore, and this is one of the most famous, mysterious houses in the United States. And I want to go there.
So do I.
I want to go to there. I think we should go there.
Okay. Now, where is it again?
Oh, you know, California.
Oh, man. That's a trek.
Yeah. It's a trek, but I've never been to San Jose. I've been to California once in my life. We're pretty far, so.
I'm jealous.
But I mean, you only live once.
Yeah.
Right? I guess unless you're haunting the Winchester Mystery House. Yeah.
So, I have a story that we might actually be able to go to one day.
Okay, cool. It's close by, is it?
It is.
Okay.
We are headed to Nova Scotia, 1878, Amherst. Back then, it was just a little town with a lot of gossip and not much else. Until a teenager named Esther Cox turned her sister's house into Canada's most famous paranormal circus.
Ooh, circus? I like the word.
The Great Amherst Mystery. Poltergeist activity, ghostly voices, random fires. This story has it all. Basically everything but a moose haunting the place. And poor Esther was the center of it all. Esther was 18, living with her sister Olive, Olive's husband Daniel, other siblings, extended family. They had a very crowded house.
I like that name, Olive.
It is a good
I
name.
really like that name. Cute. Did you make that up or is it real?
It's real.
Oh, I love it. Cute.
Imagine a whole group of people packed into this little wooden house when the chaos started. Everyone saw this stuff. It wasn't a case of, it happened to a friend of mine.
Freaky stories.
First, it's knocks and bangs. They moved Esther to a different bedroom. The sounds followed. Then Esther gets sick. Convulsions, swelling, fevers, full-on Reagan from The Exorcist vibes.
Oh no, that's the scariest thing. I've tried to block that out of my memory.
It's my fault that you saw that.
It is?
I think so.
Oh, that makes total sense. Yeah. Probably your fault that I've seen most of the horrifying things I've seen.
Oh my goodness. And then, as if the house itself exhaled, a deep, growling voice rose out of nowhere. Esther Cox, you are mine to kill.
What?
I know. If I were Olive, I'd be like, cool, she's your problem now. Take her.
Hey, she said you, not me.
Off you go.
Bye now.
After that, things don't calm down. They snowball. Objects fly around, furniture falls over, beds shake like they're trying to buck people off. You laughing at Buck?
I don't know what I'm laughing at. I think I'm just laughing so I don't get scared.
Esther's bed sheets get torn away from her in the middle of the night. Knocks on the walls seemingly answer questions from the family like a demonic magic 8-ball. And then a message actually appears, scratched into the wall. Esther Cox, you are mine to kill.
Oh, you're screwed.
Totally normal. Not at all the plot of every classic haunted house movie from the 70s and 80s. You know, your Amityville, your Poltergeist, your why is the house trying to murder us starter pack. When you think it couldn't get any worse, then come the fires.
Oh, that sucks. That's not good.
Tiny fires, random places. Matches bursting into flames with no one touching them. In December 1878, they had to literally run buckets of water through the house because fires kept popping up around Esther.
Oh, God.
Hello, fire starter. This wasn't a short-lived haunting either. This dragged on for nearly 2 years. Esther left the house at one point to stay with friends and later to work with a farmer. Guess what happened? The ghost followed her.
Classic.
The farmer's barn burned down.
Oh.
And poor Esther got blamed for arson.
I don't want to be her friend.
I know.
Sorry, you can't come over. Can't come to my house or my barn.
Or my barn. She even spent time in jail for it. Imagine the trial defense. It wasn't me, Your Honor. It was a ghost. That's not going to win over a jury.
Not in those days.
No.
Now, maybe. Yeah. Probably.
This wasn't just Esther's family claiming these things were happening. Dozens of witnesses came forward. Neighbors, ministers, even a doctor named Dr. Carrot.
What? Carrot? Oh, IT?
Yeah, IT.
Carrot. Still carrot.
He documented cases of her swelling and voices in the room. Walter Hubble, an actor turned paranormal investigator, he actually moved in for weeks and wrote a whole book, The Great Amherst Mystery. He swore it was all real.
I believe him.
Of course, skeptics say that Esther was attention-seeking or traumatized and acting out, maybe unconsciously, but honestly, to keep that going for 2 years across multiple houses with half the town watching, girl had more stamina than I have trying to keep a damn houseplant alive.
Yeah, that's a long con. I don't know about that.
Eventually, the activity fizzled out. Esther married twice, had children, and lived until 1912. Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
1912 again?
I know.
Oh my God.
She never shook the reputation of being the haunted girl of Amherst.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah. Imagine trying to live a normal life with that nickname hanging around.
Become a new person. Change your name.
Actually, who am I kidding? If I had that nickname, I would thrive.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
That's the spooky girl energy that I strive for.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it? Ghost? Poltergeist? Trauma? Trickery? Or just Canada's creepiest long-running prank? The Great Amherst Mystery remains unsolved. Moral of the story? Canadian ghosts may be polite, but they'll still set your curtains on fire.
Oh, mic drop.
Oh,
that's brutal. I believe it because fire, you don't mess with fire.
no.
Fire can go really wrong. That's not a prank. Fire's, no.
Yeah, like...
Mm-mm. I live close to the fire department here. I hear them going constantly. And it's just like, you don't mess with that.
Actually, here I am saying we should go there. I don't know if the house is still standing.
Oh, maybe it burned down.
This episode is brought to you by Spreaker, the platform responsible for a rapidly spreading condition known as podcast brain. Symptoms include buying microphones you don't need, explaining RSS feeds to confused relatives, and saying things like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm editing audio." If this sounds familiar, you're probably already a podcaster. The good news is Spreaker makes the whole process simple. You record your show, upload it once, and Spreaker distributes it everywhere people listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and about a dozen apps your cousin swears are the next big thing. Even better, Spreaker helps you monetize your show with ads, meaning your podcast might someday pay for, well, more microphones. Start your show today at Spreaker.com. Spreaker, because if you're going to talk to yourself for an hour, you might as well publish it.
Now that we're thoroughly unsettled, let's take a quick coffin break and see what's brewing.
Okay. All right, coffin break. Today we're talking about how your cat might be seeing an entire hidden dimension, and how some cats, like my old Siamese Allie, simply opted out.
Oh,
Do you remember her?
I just got chills. Yeah, I do. Yes.
Scientifically, cats can detect ultraviolet light, which means they see markings, glows, reflections, and tiny movements we miss entirely. They hear higher frequencies than dogs. They sense tiny air pressure shifts. They even pick up electrical changes in a room.
I didn't know the frequency thing.
I know.
I didn't know any of this, actually.
So basically, your cat is a furry, unlicensed paranormal investigator who refuses to turn in their paperwork.
They give spooky energy, so this totally checks out.
Yeah.
I believe this.
When they lock onto a dark corner like they're watching a ghost rehearse its monologue, they might actually be responding to something real. Just real in a wavelength that we don't get access to. But then there are cats like Allie. Sweet, chubby Allie, who would stare into the exact same corners, but purely because her one brain cell was buffering. No ghosts, no messages from beyond, just a quiet loading screen and a dream. Honestly, she might have been the safest of all. You can't haunt someone who's not fully logged into the situation. So yes, your cat may be tuning into hidden realms of paranormal energy, or they may be pulling an Allie and perceiving absolutely nothing. April, do you have any gifted guardians of the beyond or professional gaslighters?
Yeah. Every pet I've ever owned. But my dog, who I say sometimes is like a cat because she's 7 pounds, so she cleans herself like a cat and sits on the back of a couch like a cat. But she stares. Actually, someone passed away in the house that we're in right now, recording this episode, which is my house that I live in. Somebody passed away, and I know exactly the point in the house where she passed away, and my dog stares there constantly, but she's half blind. Does that count?
I think that counts more.
Oh no, then it's real, because we'll be sitting on the couch or anywhere and she'll just stare over there and I'm like, can you stop?
Yeah, that's...
Just stop. Or she'll look up the stairs sometimes when nobody's up there. It freaks me out. I don't like talking about it.
Yeah, I've got like little goosebumpies all over my legs right now because I'm suddenly like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened.
Yeah, it's just in the next room over.
Oh.
Cool.
Rest in peace, Allie.
Rest in peace, Allie.
The one cat no ghost even bothered with. They took one look and said, nah, she's busy.
Nice. I like that. That's good.
Okay, coffin break complete. Now let's drift into the realm of the dearly departed and their final draft. April, you have the floor.
Thank you, Sarah. For my final draft, I'm going to try not to cry. I've read it a few times, but it makes me emotional when somebody... I didn't know this person personally, but I feel like I did. Mm-hmm. And you know what that's like, because we talked about this. So, okay, here we go. This obituary is one I personally chose because every year around New Year's, I think of one of my favorite actors of all time. Actor Edward Herrmann, best known for so many roles during his 71 years of life, but most notably in my life as Richard Gilmore. If you need to know one thing about me, it's that I'm a diehard Gilmore Girls fan, and have been since the first episode hit my TV screen in the year 2000, which seems like a bajillion years ago.
It seems like a bajillion years ago, but I totally went to like 90s.
But also like yesterday was 2000. Well, it is 2026 now. We're 1 week into 2026.
Yes.
So that's crazy. Now this is from the BBC news site. The 6'5" star... Why did they say that?
I don't know.
The 6'5" star had been diagnosed with brain cancer and was in intensive care in New York before his death on Wednesday, December 31st, 2014, New Year's Eve. His son, Rory...
What?
Yep. Said in a statement, he was full of knowledge and kindness and goodness. He always wanted to share the great and beautiful things in life. Herrmann played the beloved grandfather Richard Gilmore on Gilmore Girls, a waspish family drama in a storybook Connecticut town. Lauren Graham, who played Herrmann's on-screen daughter Lorelai Gilmore during the show's 7 series, remembered the actor as the kindest, classiest, most talented man, and said it was a devastating blow to lose him. Ed Herrmann's combination of pure charisma plus his distinctive voice lit up any room he entered, she added. He had a gentlemanly manner, a wicked sense of humor, and a sharp wit. He was well-read, interesting, and just plain fun to be around. Kelly Bishop, who played his wife, Emily Gilmore, said she was somewhat stunned by his death, having only found out he was ill a few weeks ago. I think everyone who knew or worked with Ed found him to be absolutely delightful, she said in a statement. Everything looks a little dim, as if the lights went down. The actor, who trained at London's Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, was singled out for his praise when Entertainment Weekly picked Gilmore Girls as one of its new TV classics in 2009. Describing him as an on-screen pro, it said he could advise, hector, and soothe with debonair slyness. But his son, Rory, said his father's favorite role had been U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, from whom he played in the TV movies Eleanor and Franklin and Eleanor and Franklin, The White House Years in 1976 and 1977.
Sorry, Eleanor and Franklin 2.
Eleanor
The
and
Return.
Franklin strikes back. The actor reprised the role in the 1982 movie musical Annie and provided the voice for FDR in Ken Burns' documentary series The Roosevelts, An Intimate History. Herman also starred in Joel Schumacher's teen vampire film The Lost Boys, alongside Kiefer Sutherland, where he played Max, and won a Primetime Emmy in 1999 for his guest role at the Boston-based legal series The Practice. His Broadway credits included the original run of Love Letters in 1989, The Deep Blue Sea with Blythe Danner in 1998, and George Bernard Shaw's Mrs. Warren's Profession, for which he won a Tony Award in 1976. He often appeared on the big screen in major films including The Wolf of Wall Street, The Aviator, and Reds, and recently appeared on shows such as Grey's Anatomy, How I Met Your Mother, and The Good Wife. His manager, Robbie Cass, said in a statement, besides being an accomplished actor, Herman was also a true gentleman and a scholar, as well as being incredibly kind and decent man. He will be sorely missed. Herman was surrounded by his family, including his wife, Star, and 3 children when he died. It's cool that his wife's name is Star.
Yeah.
Now, if you're like me and have extra Audible credits just floating around and need to use them up, I recommend grabbing Life Itself by Roger Ebert, narrated by Edward Herman, because he actually narrates a bunch of audiobooks.
Oh, that's cool.
And it is super cool to hear this man's voice reading anything to you. But anyways, if you have extra Audible credits or you want to buy a new book to listen to, get Life Itself by Roger Ebert. Play the beginning of chapter 55. Sometimes I listen to this clip because I find it comforting, especially being read by Richard Gilmore himself. But it is also eerie to hear him speak about death.
Hi, it's me. Just a little side note here. I tried to get permissions to play the audio clip, but I didn't receive those in time. Maybe in the future, if I do, I can insert them into the episode here. But I just wanted to let you know I played it for Sarah, and then this is her reaction to it. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Isn't that eerie to listen to?
It actually made me feel so much better about dying.
Right?
Like, I was perfectly content before I was born, and I imagine it to be the same after. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually, that book, I started scanning through it. It's actually a really good listen. So I totally recommend. I just wanted to play that little clip because it's Ed Herman talking about death. And although he didn't write the words, he's reading them, and it just kind of feels fitting.
Yeah.
Cool, eh?
I love that.
Yeah. So he's one of my favorite actors of all time. And actually, I think in Kelly Bishop, who played Emily Gilmore, in her book, which I also listened to the audiobook of, she said something about when they were filming A Year in the Life, Ed Herman had passed away, so he couldn't be in The Year in the Life, which is the Gilmore Girls series. They revived it and brought it back in 2016, if you don't know. And there was one day where they were shooting on set, and Kelly Bishop said, Ed, we just want a sign from you, like, wish you were here. And she said something about how the lights had flickered at that exact moment. And she said, we know you're here, Ed. Thanks. We know you're here. It was so sad. And they did a really good tribute to him too, because they had to make his character Richard Gilmore die in Gilmore Girls because he had passed away. Yeah. So they did a really great tribute to him. I think it was in the first of those 4 movies, and it was really sad. It makes me cry every time. It was so good. So that's my final draft. With our final draft complete, let's turn the page and slip into our last segment of the night, our favorite Buried Secrets Ghosted Again. Remember, if you've got a story, send it in to gtopenlate@gmail.com. Your ghost is just dying to be famous.
Another listener submission. They didn't leave a name, so we'll get right to it. Hi, this happened at my previous job. I stayed behind one evening to finish a deadline after everyone else had left. A few of us did that sometimes, so it wasn't strange. It was quiet until a little after 7:30 when I heard something fall in the storage room at the end of the back hall. It was loud, like a stack of files tipping. I went to check because I thought a shelf might have collapsed. When I opened the door, everything was in place.
Oh, that's the worst.
I went back to my desk. Around 10 minutes later, I heard the same noise again. This time it didn't sound like it came from the room. It sounded like it came from the hallway itself. Right after it, I heard footsteps, slow, spaced apart, like someone walking directly toward the main office area. They stopped right at the corner, as if someone was standing there just out of sight. I called out, thinking maybe someone had come back in to grab something. No one answered. When I finally looked, the hallway was empty. I decided to leave.
Peace.
On my way out, I walked past the storage room again, and the lights were on inside. I hadn't turned them on earlier, and they don't come on automatically. The part that still unsettles me is what I heard when I reached the back door. I was putting in the alarm code, and from the hallway behind me, I heard the footsteps again. Same pace, same sound, but this time they were moving away from me down the hall, towards the storage room. I didn't turn around. I just finished the code and left. The next morning, when I mentioned the noises, people joked about the building being old, but the alarm logs showed no one else entering or exiting after I had locked up. I stopped saying late after that.
Yeah, I would too.
Thank you, though. I mean, that's just creepy enough.
Yeah.
Just creepy enough.
You'd never stay late again.
No.
Now, something like that happens.
I always think, like, oh, I'd be brave enough to just hang out so I could witness it, but nope.
I would, if I could, like, put myself out of my body for a minute and just be like, I'm brave and do this, but I would probably run out just screaming. Like, as we talked about before, I'm a runner, so I would just be like, I don't even know if I set the alarm to lock up. I don't even know if I locked the doors. Like, someone has to go check. I can't go back.
You're the runner, and I'm the one that's like, Allie. Allie cat.
That makes sense. All right, well, that wraps up episode 6. Thanks for hanging with us. Please follow, review, interact with us on TikTok and Insta, all the things that podcasters beg for. It actually helps. It keeps us haunting your feeds long after the episode ends. This has been Ghoul Talk, open late. The spooky sleepover you never left continues.
Why did we just clap? We were so amazed that we got through that.
We did it!
If your grandma's haunted doll keeps showing up in your dreams, or if your neighbor swears their cat is possessed, we want to hear about it. Send us your weird, funny, or creepy stories at gtopenlate@gmail.com, and we'll do the rest.